I bet you I pass, cause I'm achieving. Broke niggas smoke niggas, rich niggas smoke believers. My team been pumping Chiba and back in here since the days of
Page
Joe.
we outside. The chip come between us.
Look, I'm winning now, and I'ma keep on winning. I see what you ain't nothing changed.
Same linen.
Fuck the dog shit. Nigga, I'm a
Won't convict.
I live wild. Be cases before trial. We're in jury style. I'm foul. You wondering why I don't snap? I'm scheming
to stick you up now.
Son, I'll be the first to
That's the gun. Page5Lit, we outside. I'm mashing, huh?
If you don't know, you better go and
Ask someone. Yeah. Page5Lit, we outside. What's up? You here?
Never the same, baby.
Talking to Popo. Yeah. That's right. Peace be, y'all. Peace be. I'm glad to be here, you heard? It's the vibe. It's the vibe. Every motherfucking thing you got. Yeah. We're here, y'all. We're trying to build, grow, and develop, you heard? About to get into it right now, for real. 9 o'clock every night. Monday through Saturday, you heard? Yo, what's going on, y'all? How y'all doing? Listen, peace be to everybody. Peace be multiplied. You know, listen, I look forward to these chats. I'm going to address a couple of things. I got some questions in the DMs. You know, maybe we can help somebody tonight, reach out and uplift somebody in some kind of way. Don't forget, we're trying to be better than yesterday. And we're trying to address a couple of things, you know, and I bought batteries for that. And we're trying to address a couple of things to help somebody, you know, move forward at what they're trying to do in life. Let me take a deep breath. Let's go. So listen, it's 2025. You know, and I feel like the times are a little bit different, you know. And the best way for survival is for the family to work as a team. You understand what I'm saying? Things is like that now, you know what I'm saying? Outside, the temperature is up and down, it's iffy, it's shiffy. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people are doing different types of jobs. You know, the jobs that seem like they only done, you have to know somebody to get in now, you know, just straight hiring hasn't been working. You know, a lot of people are doing self-service, they're getting paid for an actual particular service in particular, you know, things like that. So a lot of things are changing, but you know, I just want to say this. The times have changed and the times are dangerous. You can't really just cut your kid off at a certain age, all right? You can't just put your kid out. You can't just cut them off, all right? Listen, I need you to understand this. If your kid is still living in your house, it's because you're not done with them yet. It's probably something missing that's keeping them, you know, as far as you go, you might have reached your ceiling with what you're trying to put inside of them, you know? But I'm saying that because you got to do more than just feed them. You know, you can't just feed them food. You got to feed their mind too. You know, you got to connect with them. You understand what I'm saying? For real. See, it's just certain things they got to be fed, you know. So if they still in the crib right now, and they trying to figure it out, and they not bad kids, you know. But it might be an element missing for them to further their growth to actually go where they're going, you know. But don't force them out. You put your kid out, God forbid you'll read about them. Something real bad happened to him because you haven't taught that kid how to feed himself on his own. You understand what I'm saying? You know, it's certain things you have to teach a child how to protect themselves, how to recognize game. You know, a lot of y'all, you know, and I'm gonna throw this in there. I wasn't gonna mention this, but she has 2 sons, and she's very protective of them. So she never let a man get close to him, you know. So when boys grow up not being close to men, they roughest attributes come from their mother. They curse like their moms, they get mad like their mother, and they address petty issues like their mother. The most testosterone they really got close to connect with was from their mother. And remember what I said, you can't blame somebody for what they never been taught. Let's keep it 100 on that, you know. But at the same time, if somebody been subjected to something for 15 years, it's a part of them. Whether we like it or not, that's a real thing, you know. So those elements are a real thing. Those are some things we have to really address, you know, because I always say, you know, they got all these different things online about raising children and the best things for kids and all that. Listen, ain't no book better than you. All you have to do is remember how you wanted your childhood to be. You know how you wanted your birthday parties. You know how you wanted people to treat you. Okay? You know how you had aspirations of what you would have loved your Christmas to be like. And at this point with children, you try to make those things come to life. Those are real things. The things that you feel you lacked as a child, you try to get those to your kids the best you can. And that's on the path of becoming a great parent. That's how that works. You know, and by the way, and I told you, that's attractive. Men love when women are nurturing and you know, very attentive to their children. Men like, that's an attractive thing. We got to change the narrative on that, for real, you know? And, but back to it, I really feel like, you know, that we can't give up on them because of the temperature, all right? I understand a lot of different things are happening, but we're going to have to take the blame for a lot of different things that our children lack, okay? See, you got to remember something. They always talking about he just like his father, he just like his mother. You understand? Get in tune with your son. You see the worst of their attributes as children, and as you raise them, you try to train them to will them away from those things. You know? If you like me, I got a lot of kids. And I have, each one of my child reminds me of a relative. Each one. You know what I'm saying? And when I see certain attributes, I try to work on it. You understand what I'm saying? You know, my oldest son, he didn't like to smile. You know what I'm saying? He was very dead serious all the time, you know. And I had to tell him, you're too handsome not to smile, son. It's just a waste of a handsome face for you not to smile, son. You're not taking advantage of a handsome face. Smile, son. This was over and over. You know, I had to be anal retentive with that. Keep on, repeating it. You know, just little things, you know. And what they say, the girls in the family give the boys the confidence. They do, you know. Because see, you build your kid up, you know. Thank you. Sorry about that, y'all. You build a kid up, right? And you got to go back to what it really is. You know, you don't want your child to do what the you did. You don't want your child to do what the hell you did. You don't want them following none of the attributes that you feel might have willed you in the wrong direction. That might have studied your path, studied your growth. So that's not what you want. As a parent, we want the kids to go as farther than we could ever reach for. We want them to go farther than we could ever reach for. You understand what I'm saying? So with that in mind, that means that they can't do certain things that maybe we were allowed to do or things that we got away with. You understand what I'm saying? Because of lack of supervision. Because we know if we instill a little bit more supervision and discipline, we know that they don't have to follow the attributes that they have after you. You understand what I'm saying? I seen beer passed down in the family. I seen the love of beer passed down through the family. You dig what I'm saying? You know. I came from a line of heavy drinkers. I've never been a heavy drinker. My father made sure of that. You know what I'm saying? He knew what it was. You know, my grandfather too. You know, and I'm the grandchild, so they kind of knew what it was. You know, because I had uncles and things like that. You know, and when we came up, they didn't want that in us. And it's the same way you got to be. You know, if you got a family trait that's detrimental to to what's real, what's serious in life. You know, if you got somebody that, try to catch him young and train him and teach him a little bit different. You got to work on these things, you know. They always say all these things start in the home, you know. All these things start in the home, and we're going to take responsibility of that. Listen, if you got a kid 26 years old and lost and confused, how you going to not take some of the blame for that? But you know what you can do tomorrow? You can work to change it tomorrow. You can work to change it tomorrow. You understand what I'm saying? Don't be in denial of real life. That's serious. Don't be in denial of real life. It's 2025. Don't just feed your kids to the wolves. All right? If they still in your house, they still need you. Okay? You mess around, bad news, and beat their ass home because you put them out and they wasn't ready yet. And the streets are unkind. You understand what I'm saying? And for those of you who pop that shit, oh, I can do this in the third, I'm fully independent, blah, 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 and you never really dive into that water, listen, the white boys want their money every 30 days. They not your mother. All right? They're not your father. Your excuses mean nothing to them. They're not a loving relative. They need their money every 30 days because whatever it is that you got from them will turn into a pumpkin at midnight like Cinderella. You understand? Now, if you at home and you working on trying to get out, you have to save some money and you have to figure out how you want to live. You understand what I'm saying? You need to get a real check.
Invest.
And and look into investing. Raise your level of thinking when it comes to you moving forward in life. You have to do those things, Now, and I say as a parent, when we get in tune with our kids, and I don't care. And listen, when I say that as a parent, I don't care how old the child is. It's still your child. All right? We weren't perfect parents raising our kids. We might have missed something. All right? We might have let something rock and they picked up an attribute that we don't like. Work on that because it's still your damn child. All right? Like what mommy said, every day you wake up, you have a chance to change everything. Get it right. Just work on those things. Listen, time don't stop. It's going to move and keep moving and all that. Before you look up, the baby's 6. When you blink, the baby be 14. After that, the baby talking about, I'm going away to school and I ain't coming back until Thanksgiving. Yeah. And you be like, where all the time went? Yeah. It's like that, But if your kid is in their 20s and they transitioning to try to take that further step, rock with them. Give them a shot, all right? Because wherever that kid at in life, that's still your child. Just want to remind you that. I'm tired of everybody being so hard on these kids, man. You got to remember, they bombarded by subliminal messages. They always trying to control in which direction the child thinks. I need you to know that even when the kids come home from school, they send homework that somebody has to help them with to see if the child is getting participation at the crib. If people, just like if you got somebody locked up, and I'm saying this out there because I really need to hear this. Somebody need to hear this. If you got somebody locked up that you care about and you love, see about them. And when I say that, if you haven't heard from them, call the fucking jail and let that jail know that they got somebody out here that care about them. If you ain't heard from them, they ain't called you, show up to court. The judge, when you go to court for your loved ones, right? And like I said, I don't care how old they are, they're your family. When you go to court for a loved one, the lawyer lets the judge know that the family is here in support of Mr. Pye for the situation, or Mr. Smith for the situation. The family's here in support of him. Because if the family supports him, the judge is going to automatically think there's something good about this guy because the family's standing behind him. If nobody is there, the judge is going to think, damn, he must not be that good of a person if his parents can't come and his siblings don't show up. What kind of person is this guy? If the family will write him off, nobody will think nothing twice if the court write him off. All right? So if you got something like that going on in your situation, pay attention to it. See about your loved ones, all right? Dudes die in jail every day. Listen. And, don't lie to somebody that's locked up. Don't mislead them. Don't throw them the wrong way. Just don't do that. And, if you love them, you know what I'm saying? Just think about them a little bit and focus on that. Give it a few minutes a day if you can. I just wanted to throw that in there. Like I said, it's 2025 and things got to change. Real talk. Now, I'm glad y'all here with me tonight. But for not for nothing, I wanted to say this here. Yeah, and we're going to really get into this. And I'm answering a couple of questions tonight too out the DMs, y'all. We're gonna talk about that too and discuss it. Anybody got? Listen, like I said, nobody has all answers. If you have a better answer than I give, please throw it in the chat. Let's talk about it. Now listen, and I wanted to say this. This is something from question from one of my friends. He been with his baby mother for 6 years. Okay, he been with her for 6 years. And they've been getting along fine. They ain't been arguing, they ain't been fighting, none of that. She been at this last job for 3 years. All right? And she told him she want to break up. He can't believe why she want to break up, because he's like, yo, everything was good. Why you want to break up? We ain't had no arguments, no fights or nothing. He ain't got caught cheating or nothing. And he can't believe it. So he's frustrated about the thing, right? But on the same note, he is freaking perplexed at the situation to say, we was happy as a mother the last week. Now this week you telling me you want to leave me, and he can't believe it. And he's really, really mad because he has everything. He has this all invested into this situation, And remember when I told you, no matter how much money you spent, that girl can get up and go that way whenever she get ready, and nothing you can do about it. Let's keep it like that. That's real talk, So the question was, what do he do about it? He want to win her back, He want to keep his family together, But she don't really want to talk to him, And so some time went by. He found out that she has a work husband, okay? He found out she has an at-work husband. He's frustrated. He looking for old boy, want to do something to old boy, and that ain't gonna help nobody because that's the choice she made. Remember what I said. Sometimes you're in love, they not. All right? Keep that in mind, all right? So he's upset about the whole thing, So my situation, the situation he told me about, my best response for me to give him is this, and I want you to learn from this and listen. And this is how these things happen. She been working with old boy for 3 years. Every day for 8 hours. She really got to know him. You heard? Old boy at the crib, he been at home coasting along because everything cool. It's a steady boat. The boat ain't rocking. He cool with it. But at the same time, for the last 3 years, nothing has changed for them. That's the way she looking at it. And he's comfortable in what he doing. You understand what I'm saying? He ain't went nowhere up on the job. He's still in the same situation and all that. That's the way she putting this together. Now, at the job, she got to know this dude for 8 hours a day. And this dude had enough time to convince her he has his ducks in a row. To the point where she actually thinks she sees a future with this dude. He the number one dude at the job. He's the next guy in line for a promotion. She heard the white boys tell him he has a bright future here. Okay? She's witnessing this man's growth right in front of her. You understand? These things really happen. All right? 80% of women have an at-work husband. They got somebody at the job that's always trying to feed them, always trying to make sure she good and all that. Yeah, it's one of those kind of things, So that really does happen, And I'm gonna say that if you're in a situation like that, see, for him, it might be over. When she got the guts to tell him she want to leave, and then they started trying to work it out, it didn't work. And then when she told him that she's moving on, that's when it really set in. She had her mind made up. She really feel she sees the future in this dude just by watching his growth. She don't know that the growth might not be for her. She don't know that. The growth might just be for right now. You see what I'm saying? That's later to be determined. Real talk. But that's a real thing. So listen, Don't ignore your significant other, because all those dry nights and those quiet nights, they could be low-key getting to know somebody else. And before you know it, that man sees in your woman the same thing that made you fall in love with her. And that makes some men kill niggas. For real. You don't want your man seeing what you love about your woman. But this dude, he there with her 8 hours every day, getting close to her. And he mean that shit. You know why? Because he got vision. You have to be able to think farther than you can see. You understand me? Straight up and down. You know? You can't never run out of ideas. You know what I'm saying? And that's what happened. It might be too late for brother, but listen, bro. Listen, I wish you the best. You be strong on that. And like I said, don't want somebody that don't want you. If she sees the empathy you have for the situation and what you're doing and what you're willing to do to try to correct it, and it's not moving her, don't keep bumping your head up against the wall. Take a deep breath and take 2 steps forward and to the left. Turn the page on your life. Turn the page on your life. When one door open, another door closed. All right? I mean that. Listen. It's a difference in a teenager and an adult. Okay? It's a big difference in a teenager and an adult. If you've been in love since 16, 17, what makes you think that love is the same at 26 and 27? As much as you have grown. It's a real possibility, like a 90% chance, that you two are really different. And how well did you mesh in that? You know. Because see, but regardless of the fact, none of that should affect the love you have for your child and what you're willing to do. I need you to be willing to put the energies to the side to govern the child. I need that to start happening. Because a lot of y'all need to turn the page on your life. And you feel you locked in. You're not locked in. What you locked into? Torture, aggravation, you know, a constant grief, a constant reminder of all the L's that you took. You know what I mean? Little do you know that those things stop you from growing. Okay? Like I said, God expects for you to find happiness wherever He puts you at. Okay? And that's your responsibility. All right? Remember I told you about Bruno Mars' family? Five people in one mattress with no roof. And they were all happy. Okay? Moving on. I want to say this too. Because see, we have to give thanks to something greater than us, you know? Have you ever had a moment where you thought your life was about to really change for the worse and you didn't see any way out? Okay? I jumped in some bushes about 3 feet this way and 4 feet up. 3-4 bullets went through them bushes. They all missed me. All right? They all missed me. I was driving on the highway. I was young. I had been up all night, gambling all night. I'm driving on the highway. I fell asleep on the highway. I'm out. Something grabbed my shoulder and woke me up. As soon as I looked up, I had to go this way. I turned all the way this way, all the way to the right. I didn't have a scratch on when I got out the car. The car was smashed from the door all the way to the middle of the car. And I didn't have a scratch. I happen to call those things divine intervention. All right? Divine intervention, you know, it's a little bit more than, you just got lucky, because, I know a guy that got shot 22 times and he lived. And I know a guy that got shot once and he died. That's devastating. You can't prevent that. But divine intervention, it's a close, sharp brush with death, to where you saw your life flash before your eyes. You heard? You felt like at this moment you was going to be leaving here. For any of you that felt those moments where everything was about to end, I need you to know, I need you to thank God. Yeah, thank God. Thank something greater than yourself, whatever that may be. But you came back and you survived it and you're here now. Take a deep breath, because that's life. All right? You came back and you saw this day for a reason. I need you to remember that. I need you to recognize that we feeling. You understand me? We breathing, our blood is pumping. All right? Now, I need you to know that you came back because you had more work to do. All right? You had something that was not done on this earth, and God wants you to get that finished. You heard what I said? All right? I want you to start focusing on what you're here for. See, you came back because when after I had my situation with death on that particular moment, I went on to have 6 children. You understand what I'm saying? But I also went on to have 3 trials and 8 years in jail. that part too. You understand what I'm saying? I can't say it's all gonna be peaches and cream, but yeah, that part too. But
it's been a hell of a ride.
It's been a hell of a ride. It's been a hell of a ride. What don't kill you make you stronger. And I want to say this because it's a lot of y'all doing a lot of things. And I really took some notes on this because I mean this. Until a man finds his purpose, until a person finds their purpose, a woman, she can immediately find her purpose by giving birth. Immediately. A man trying to find his purpose will roam around aimlessly. Energy all over the place. He can't figure it out, but his energy's all over. One week he want to be a rapper. The next week he want to be a plumber. Now he want to go back to school. He going down south to work with Uncle Larry. He's trying to figure it out. He's trying to find himself. Men go through what they call vehicles of expression. They go through vehicles of expression. They show glimpses of their man they're going to become, but they're not him yet. Okay? They're still looking for themselves. And that's how you learn different things, by trying different things. This is what men going through. So, for you men who still searching, and you could be in your 40s, sometimes your purpose is right next to you, and you missed it, and you don't see it. All right? And until you recognize that purpose for what it is, nothing seems to line up. The plan never seemed to go the way you need it to go. You're always a little short of the finish line. You know what I mean? You just can't see why what they call it, why the gods they send things your way type shit, Because you're missing your purpose for the shenanigans. See, when you got this time to do this, that's important, and you allow the shenanigans to come and fulfill your time, you're missing out on things. And I need you to grow. What Biggie said, being broke at 30 give a nigga the chills. But it's easy to do. Real talk, it's very easy to do. If you don't focus on none of that, then how you gonna grow, my man? Listen, like I said, the way you tend to your business now determines how you live later. This is why we having this conversation. You understand? When you get my age, I want you to have a nice condo. I want everybody to be good in your family. And I want you to have peace of mind. All right? But if you're young, apply yourself and work towards having you a better, older life. Prepare yourself to raise your kids in a more comfortable life than you grew up in. Those things, you have to be attentive to those things, straight up and down. Real talk. Now, mind you, it comes a time when you have to leave childish things behind. You heard? For real. And there's no more acting like a kid when shit get hectic. When shit get hot, you can't turn into a kid. You understand? If you're going to be grown Be grown all the time. Soon as shit ain't going your way, as soon as you done messed up and let something go haywire, you can't turn into a child. No, because I was just in the third and blah, 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 blah. Nah. No. You was grown as fuck last week. You was grown as fuck last week. You understand me? Shit went wrong. I'm going to tell you like I tell my sons. Okay. You went against the grain a little bit. Things ain't go your way. You come to me and you take your L. Daddy, I fucked up. I know you told me to do this, that, and the third, but I really thought if I tried this, that, and the third, and I tweaked it, I thought that would work and it didn't. What you said actually happened, or whatever he was trying to do went left. I got to take the L for that day, but next time, Pops, I'm going to go a different way with it. I apologize for not taking your advice, or whatever the case may be. But own up to it being wrong. Don't be one of them. No, but if such and such had this, that, and the third, and if this, that, and the third had happened, we don't want to hear that. Own up to your motherfucking L. Straight up and down. To yourself. That shit ain't nothing but an L. It ain't nothing. You breathing. Don't do it again. You gonna get another shot at it. That type shit. It's my word. I don't give a what they preaching out here, man. Time I go online, man, they saying a whole bunch of negative black men this and black men ain't that, and you know, they keep talking about the black woman throwing him up under the bus, this, that, and the third, but you stayed with that nigga for 6 years. So what was you doing them 6 years that he was the worst nigga in the world? It says a lot about you when you talk bad about the man that was yours. Shut your mouth and shut up. Everybody don't need to know what you went through. Listen, when you talk from your emotions, you telling on yourself. You tell people what your traumas is, okay, what your triggers are. And when you keep on talking, you start showing envy, jealousy, spitefulness. And when you keep on talking, you turn out to be dead ass wrong. Jumping out the window butt ass naked. Shut the fuck up with all that. Don't talk when your emotions is up here. Straight up and down, because you know what's going to happen? Somebody who really ain't got love for you going to one day throw that shit right back up in your face to make you feel this big. Yeah, those things really happen. Those things really happen. So put childish things behind you. Accept what really happens for what it really happened. You cannot explain, you can't reinvent what already happened through an explanation. No, but if shoulda, coulda, woulda had a, no, that shit, don't nobody want to hear that. Man up, take that. Because you more than that. Chin up, you more than that. That one L don't define you. Those 7 L's don't define you. What's going to define you if you in the game at the 7 L's? That's what'll define you. Straight up and down. Moving right on along, you know. I'm going to tell you right now, straight up and down. As a man, there are no freaking days off. All right? There are no days off. All right? Now, if you in the equation, when the refrigerator empty, they going to look at you, man. When a little girl needs sneakers, they going to look at you, man. When your son dying for a haircut, they going to look at you, man. When the lights get cut off, they going to look at you, man. So be careful when you sign up to be taking on them type of responsibilities, because there are no days off. When your days off, the kids still got to eat. All right? If your chick running around looking raggedy, they're looking at you. Real talk. That man shit. That man shit. When all those type of things happen, they look for the man. They look at the man in that equation. You the father of the 2 kids. How you let the lights get cut off and you got kids in there? You heard? And I know you getting a look. I know you getting a couple of dollars, but you so mad at her, you know, because she ain't cooperating with you. She ain't acting right, you know. And then when your daughter get 19, she tell you about the summer that the lights was off, the whole summer, you know. And then you think back, you could have done something about that. But listen, it's 2 histories out here. It's the way you saw it, and it's the way the kids seen it. All right? You done did this, that, and the third when she was 8 years old, and you prided yourself on that whole event. And then she gets 19 years old and tell you, no, mommy, That was the worst day of my life. And you was like, what? Girl, all the money I spent on this, that, and the third? She said, no, mommy. You acted like a savage to make that day happen for me. And I didn't like you when you were trying to get that event together. You were the meanest person in the world for me. And I didn't like what you was doing for me to turn you into that. So no, that was not the greatest party I ever had. And you got to live with that. You was threatening people. If they didn't have this, that, and the third, you going to kill them. Nah, you wanted everything to go perfect. And you turned into a monster to get it that way for your baby. But she saw the energy that you used to get that day like that. And she remembered that. And ain't nothing you can do about it. That really happened. All those things. Let me get a piece of tissue, son. All those things is a real thing. You understand what I'm saying? Like I said, listen. That's another thing. I'm not here to take sides in these things. I'm not here to take sides. Right and right is wrong is wrong. If I say something that you don't like, you ain't got to tell nobody you don't like it. You ain't got to voice your opinion on that. But if you feel if it's feasible for you, do something about those things. I'm here to address those things. Somebody got to tell you. You got to get it from somewhere. Plain and simple. And I believe that wholeheartedly. You mean? Listen. I'm here. I'm going to talk to you like I talk to my sons. I'm going to talk to you like I talk to my daughters. All right? I'm going to talk to you like I talk to my wife with respect. All right? I'm going to talk to you like I talk to my brother. If I feel you need checking, I'm going to check you. Period. All right? I mean that. And I'm not the greatest nigga ever. All right? Malcolm X is my hero. It's by any means necessary. Yeah. You know. But I got a couple of more heroes too, but we ain't gonna get into that. But I got a question out the chat. Like, what was that question again, son? That she asked me? You don't remember? Okay, I got it. I got it. She asked me, what ways can she start to save money, right? Now, listen, y'all.
Buckling down.
How to buckle down on save money. Stop playing with me. All that damn DoorDash, start there. Listen, if you spend $12 in the store, that'll feed you a single person for 2 days. Get a chicken breast for $6, a box of rice, all right, and a can of vegetarian beans. All right, that could feed you for 2 days. You order DoorDash, it's a minimum, what, $23? And that's for a 6-piece chicken wing. See what I'm saying? You can start there. All the Ubers. All the Ubers. A lot of y'all taking Ubers and you ain't trying to make it to work on time. It's pointless. Leave an hour earlier and save your money. You can start there. All right? Another way to save money is, listen, outside costs money. Every time you go out, you spend. Okay? Don't spend like everybody else spend. Okay? Find you a cost-effective way to do your time that'll save you some money. Because what's your end goal? You're saving the money to accomplish something, to do something greater later. So yeah, cut some things off now. You feel me? I ain't saying starve yourself. I ain't saying don't be young. But y'all know. You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all got way too many wigs. For real, you don't need that many. Straight up and down. And if you've got a problem with short hair, go back to the 90s and they got pictures that'll show you what you can do with it when you got short hair. Yeah, the 90s. Back when every style came from real hair. Maybe some extensions here or there, but yeah, short hair rocks. You feel what I'm saying? And you can start there too. And then again, your eyelashes, feet, nails, and all these. I know you have the daily maintenance. You can trim back on some of those things. You can do your nails yourself type shit. You know what I mean? Real talk, And if you want to save some money, you can get your hair braided. I think braiding hair lasts about 4 months. You save some money. You ain't got to worry about your hair for 4 or 5 months. That'll save you some bread too. Straight up and down. Yeah. And oh yeah, and I'm gonna be honest with you, this is a real thing. Don't buy presents for people who don't buy presents for you. And we're talking about grown folks. That is, straight up and down. I ain't talking about your mother and your father. Okay? Honor thy mother and thy father, thy life shall be long. I believe that. Word up. Straight up and down. You know, another way to trim. You got any other ideas for how to buckle down on saving money?
Focus on your needs, not your wants.
Shakur said, focus on your needs, not your wants. Okay? Let's be honest. You can survive on less. And you know this. You can survive on less. You know, y'all keep on buying these $8 drinks and shit, $12 drinks. And the health drinks then went up crazy.
Yo,
you can save money making those health drinks in your house.
Stop going out to eat on your lunch break.
Stop going out to eat on your lunch break.
Cook some food. Like, actually make yourself. I'm talking to the young adults. They got their own cribs.
Right.
They can go and they can cook their own little meal for the week.
Right.
And you feel me? Instead of going out every lunch break, go and spending money on fast food or something.
Keep talking.
Yeah, so like that's something that we can really focus on right there. That right there takes a lot of money off the table. If you're going out to go in this place and go get food all the time, you're spending a lot of money at the end of the week.
You know something else too, right?
It's $100 at the end of the week. If it's a 5
I'm gonna tell you something. Women do this all the time. Your girlfriend got a baby shower coming up, okay? And just for the record, women are allowed to do. They're allowed to be this way. Don't get angry about it. She has a baby shower coming up, and she says she has nothing to wear, right? But we know as men, you handpick everything in your closet. How you don't have nothing to wear? You handpicked everything in your closet. But she has nothing to wear. Women can get frivolous like that. A woman will wake up one day and will not like the color of her house. The color's been that color for a year. Maybe less, maybe 2 years. And all of a sudden today, she needs the color of her house to change within 72 hours. Women can be whimsical like that. We have to give them that. I want men to stop getting mad at women for being women. Okay? Straight up and down. You know, see, and sometimes it's not about what it actually is. It's about what she think it is in her head. You heard? It's not important to you, but to her it is. You know, if she mean anything to you, let her have that. You know what I mean? Don't let her take you down the road of arguing about minute things. You have a higher vibration you need to stay on to maintain getting y'all to where y'all gotta go in life. That part. You know what I mean? Real talk. You know. How much time I got in, son?
I got you right now.
Thanks for hanging out with me, y'all. We still got a couple of things, you know. And
42 minutes.
We got 42 minutes in. Okay. You know, I wanted to say this. I wanted to say this for real. You know, before we go, listen. I want y'all to please like and share all my stuff, y'all. Please spread the movement, y'all. Let's do this, you know. We're going to build, not destroy. We're not on here telling war stories and shit, all right? We're not doing that. We're not here pointing fingers. We're not here trying to make nobody feel bad. I want y'all to re-elevate your level of thinking. I haven't said nothing that you don't know, but I'm hoping I'm re-reminding you of things that can help you level up in life. You heard me? You know? This young thing, this young shit, you only young once. There are no do-overs. Okay? When you get 50, you look back more than you look forward, because that's where your shine was at. Give yourself something to look back at. You heard? For real. Give yourself something to look back at. That's all I'm saying. You know. Listen, y'all, we're going to do this again tomorrow, 9 o'clock. I'm going to be here. Yeah. We're going to come all the way again. Yeah. Each night is going to be something different, a different element to learn from. All right? Nobody has all the answers. But I'm quite sure together we can get a couple for ourselves. Remember, The job is to be better tomorrow than we was today. That's the whole key. Y'all be strong, be safe out there. Okay? I mean that. Listen. DM me for the questions. We're going to address those. And again, I'm going live again at midnight. It's a little bit different at midnight. But I'm going live again at midnight tonight. Please tune in, y'all. Like and share. Try to get the people to come in with me and hang out. We're going to talk about a couple of important things. We're going to really chop it up on some real OG shit. You dig what I'm saying? Yeah. It's got to be said. Somebody got to say it. You know? Somebody got to say it. I mean that shit. So I'm going to say it. Just like I tell it to one of my sons or one of my daughters. Somebody got to say it. I'm not here to play with y'all. You understand what I'm saying? I don't... Listen, check this out. You only as good as you carry yourself. I say be how you want to be treated. If you want to be treated with kindness, dignity, if you want to be treated with kindness, dignity, and respect, you have to carry yourself that way. And I don't care if the other person is unkind and disrespectful. You do it because you are of a kind nature. Because you are of a kind manner. You understand me? Understanding is a preservation of nature. Having a clear understanding helps you live longer. You understand? It really does. And that's what we're here to do. That's what we're here to do. That's my word. I'm dead serious about this shit, man. You know, not for nothing, yo, I got 500,000, 200,000 views. I got a lot of people that like the movement. They like the energy here. You heard? Straight up and down. You know, God loves you. I love you. I believe in what you're trying to do. For real. Don't none be the failure but a try. And I don't give a fuck what they saying. Don't listen to nothing they got to say about you. Complaining ain't gonna do the work. And opinions ain't gonna get you to the job. Straight up and down. Let's go, man. Page5Lit, we outside. Please feel free to leave a gift. Appreciate you. Like and subscribe. Yo, share everything, y'all. Every time y'all see my joint, ship it out, y'all. Let's go, man. Straight up and down. We're gonna take this show on the road. Yo, where my song at? I'm gonna play this song before I leave, y'all. Straight up. Alright. Alright. Young 50. Power of the dollar. Check.
I ain't even going front. I ain't working with a full day. Nothing to look so hard. Before I sleep, I put my hands on my heat. As soon as I start dreaming, I'm right back on the street. Any nigga in this game flowing and think you can see me.
All right.
Fucked up in the head and
Smoke a heat.
Believe me, if you thought like me, you can beat me. Cause you ain't been through what I've been through and this shit ain't
that easy.
slow.
Slow dough better than no dough. Yeah. That's right. Page5Lit, we out, y'all. Hey, yo, come back with me. 12 o'clock tonight. We on, you heard? Right here. We getting it in. 12 o'clock tonight.